What's so funny about demons and just nightmares and shit like that? Like, one thing I realized, like, when we talk about shadow work and the dark side and the dark sides of ourselves, like, people fail to understand, like, when you are confronted with your shit, it won't go over. When you are confronted with your shit, like, you have two options. You either gonna face that motherfucker or you gonna run. Understand, when you run, you're just running from yourself. Because anything that is on you is a part of you. Not all the time, because sometimes you can be reading other people's energy. But if it's annoying, like, or like habits or shit, addictions, whatever you do, or you're dealing with people and you're having a moment where you have to face certain aspects of yourself that you necessarily didn't have to face before because you didn't know certain people that led you to that. So you run, and you fail to understand that when you run, whatever's chasing you is just gonna keep chasing. You know what stops the chase? When you stop and you face the motherfucker. And what's crazy is you fail to realize that's just your ass. It's just another aspect of you. Like, it's just gonna look a little different, but it's you. Because when you sit and fester in the dark for so long, you don't do nothing there, but you just sit and fester and you decide to adapt to the darkness, you become something of the darkness. And the shit is not cool because it has to take a certain shape because it has to adapt to their darkness. So it's gonna look scary. You know, it's like when you're in a cave, it's like you have the choice. Are you gonna make a fire? Are you gonna find your way out? Or are you just gonna stay there and fester in a deck? You know, we all have a fucking choice when you face the darkness. Are you gonna find your way out of that shit? Are you gonna create light out of it? Or are you just gonna stay there and sit there? You know, we all have a fucking choice. In the caves, they figured out how to make a fucking fire. But you gotta get warm. How are we gonna do that? What's the solution? Let's figure out how to start a fire. And that's what they did. They were in the caves figuring that shit out, and then they made it happen. You know what I mean? They could have been just like, you know, fuck it, this is our way of life, and we're just gonna do this. But they was like, nah, bitch, I don't want to be cold in that nighttime. I want to see. So guess what they did? They made it the fuck happen. You know what I mean? So it's just like, make it happen for yourself. You know what I mean? Stop running from shit, because the shit you're running from is your shit. You have to face that shit, or you gotta sit in it. So it's all on you. If you're gonna face it, or you're gonna sit in it and let it become one with you. And you're not gonna be whatever you look like before that. You're not gonna look like that after, baby. Trust me. Trauma does numbers on people. So my advice to you, face that darkness. Stop running from the monsters. Those are just different variations, apparitions of you on different levels. Sometimes there are demons or just aspects of you that don't want you to change. So they're going to try to scare you. They're going to come up to you. Hey, remember me? We love to just do nothing and scroll. It makes us feel comfortable. It's our normal. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, you don't have to face that situation in order to date that person. You know, keep cycling the same people and keep dating the same type of people because you fail to face this issue that's gonna make it possible for you to evolve romantically. You know what I mean? So you can't force people to do anything. It's all in what, you know, their choice. It's their choice. Everybody has choices in life, and you're either gonna evolve or you're gonna stay the same, and that's just what it is. In the Babadook movie, when her husband died, instead of dealing with that grief, like, she let it fester and it turned into a monster. And the monster came out at night in her closet. So it's like they show up in different ways. And the only way it went away is when she faced the scary shit in her home. You know, she decided, like, I can't let this shit take over my home. I can't let this shit take over me. I can't let this shit take over my life or my son. Like, I need to take charge. And that's exactly what she did. She faced the fucking demon. and she didn't kill it, but she neutralized it and faced it and let her know, like, bitch, I see you, I'm not scared. You know what I mean? And I see you need attention, so, and you need to eat. So at the end of the movie, instead of getting rid of like calling somebody in to get rid of the energy, because that's not what it's there. It's something that's hers. You know, it's hers. It's a monster she festered in the physical, but it's a spiritual representation in the physical. You know what I mean? And so she kept it in her basement. I love that representation, because, you know, you keep shit that you don't want around the house. You store it in the basement. You know, unnecessary shit you got in your house, unnecessary issues and shit like that. And whatnot, you store them in the back of your subconscious, or it's in your unconscious mind. You know, it's just like so many different parallels and just similarities and symbolisms that just line up, you know, with the same notion of what I'm speaking. To confront a person with his own shadow is to show him his own light. And that's exactly what she did at the end, and she got her redemption.
Baba.